When I was a small child in Hot Springs, Arkansas, we lived near the airport, and I saw planes taking off and landing constantly. And one day I couldn't control my questions about what was going on at the airport any longer, so I went out to the airport, and I just walked over there, and no one paid any attention to me. I went out on the line, and I started walking around the airplanes and looking at them, and then I got up in one and sat down in it and wiggled a stick around, and that was my first introduction to airplanes. And my interest continued after I was had graduated from high school and was going to college. World War II started, and of course there were campaigns to get people to enlist and volunteer, and so I decided I would enlist in the Air Force. I went to Little Rock to enlist, and when I did, I gave some information that made them think that I needed to be in not in flying status. So I ended up going to enlisting and going to learn to be a radio operator and mechanic in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. While I was there, I had an opportunity to change my field of service, and at the end of my graduation from that school of radio operators, I went straight to become an aviation cadet. And I went through preschool and ground school in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Then I went to primary at Grider Field in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. From there, when I didn't wash out like a lot did, I went to basic training in BT-13s in Coffeyville, Kansas. Upon completion there, I hadn't washed out yet, and so I was given the choice to fly fighters or to fly bombers nor cargo planes, and I had put down my choice was fighters. And when I went for the interview, they saw how tall I was, and they said, we think maybe you are too tall for fighters. I said, well, I can scrunch down and get under 6 feet. And they said, okay, that'll be good. So that's how I got to be in fighters instead of bombers or transports. And I went through primary at Grider Field there in Pine Bluff, and then basic and advanced, and I did my training in fighters in Fort Myers, Florida, in P-40s, P-47s. When I finished my training, I was sent to Asia, and I became a part of the 60th Fighter Squadron of the 33rd Fighter Group, and that squadron was operating in the China-Burma-India theater, and I started flying first in P-40s, then in fighters, and then in P-47s, and then later on we got a group commander who had been in P-38s, and so he pulled strings, and they took away all of our P-47s and issued P-38s to us. So that's how I became a fighter pilot in both P-38s and P-47s. And I was overseas 18 months, and during that time I completed 187 combat missions.